It's a new era for the New York City Police Department. Keechant Sewell making history when she is sworn in as the 45th police commissioner in 2 weeks.
But I'm particularly proud of the historic choice we have made, our first woman police commissioner. She has worked in a variety of roles, including undercover assignment, overseeing gun suppression cases, conducting hostage negotiations, and commanding detective squads. A full breadth of experience. She didn't sit behind a desk. She was out there learning the job and learning how to be better for the job.
And this morning, we are getting to know her a little bit better. So please welcome to the PIX11 Morning News for the very first time, Keechant Sewell. Good morning to you, and thanks for being here.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So congratulations on such a big moment for you. And I want to talk about the history-making moment in just a minute, but I do want to get your thoughts first and foremost on what we saw play out overnight. This off-duty NYPD lieutenant shot overnight. Now, I know you're not the commissioner just yet, but did you get the opportunity to get some information on this? Do you want to just give some thoughts overall on what you heard about this shooting?
I do have some information. As you said, I'm not going to speak about that because I'm one commissioner at a time, but I do hope the officer is recovered.
Okay. All right. I do want to get then to your history-making appointments. You are no stranger to breaking glass ceilings, as you made history as the first African-American chief of detectives in Nassau County, now the first woman to lead the NYPD. What does this moment mean for you?
So I was the first African-American woman chief of detectives in the Nassau County Police Department. This appointment is absolutely monumental for me. For Mayor-elect Adams to have the confidence in me and to give me this opportunity is overwhelming. Not the position, let me be clear. The fact that I'm able to yet again shatter a ceiling for others that will come after me is tremendous for me.
You know, and as the Nassau Chief of Detectives, you oversaw a few hundred uniformed officers, and as the NYPD Commissioner, obviously you'll be overseeing 35,000 uniformed officers, so quite a difference in numbers, which you discussed a little bit yesterday. How are you preparing for that change in personnel?
Well, I think they told me I have 350 that I was in charge of now, and now 35,000 sworn, so I'll just work 100 times faster. I absolutely am ready for this challenge. I have known and worked in policing for half of my life. I believe the tenets of policing are the same in urban areas and cities and counties. We all want safety. That's what it's about. So I'm more than ready for this challenge.
And you know, Ms. Sewell, Mayor-elect Eric Adams, very clear picture of what he wants the NYPD to look like under his administration. He's focused on creating a new ecosystem, as he calls it, of public safety, right? Now, and I've spoken to a number of officials over the years about perception and reality. And the perception right now is the city is just unsafe. What do you think the reality is, and how do you plan to address that head on?
Well, I'm glad you brought up the silos and the ecosystem that the mayor-elect spoke about yesterday. People do feel unsafe, and that's unacceptable. I think that when we are able to break down those silos and use that ecosystem of public safety where the commissioners and the administrators talk to one another to be able to come up with a more holistic approach to be able to tackle the issues in the city, I think it's going to work out a whole lot better. I think we're going to be able to service the community a lot better.
Yeah, and so let's talk a little bit more on detail there, because you visited that Flatbush deli yesterday where a worker was killed earlier this week. Crime and gun violence has skyrocketed, specifically during the pandemic. You know the numbers, right? You said yesterday that your boots are laced up and you're ready to get to work. This is a big task. So how do you plan on tackling gun violence in particular?
So I had the opportunity yesterday, right after that press conference, and when we went to that deli in Flatbush, I had the opportunity to immediately go over to One Police Plaza and meet with the leaders of the NYPD. We sat in a room and we talked about the challenges that we face. They welcomed me. It was a preliminary meeting.
Yeah.
I certainly want to be able to go through what they have in place and what we can move forward with. I have ideas because I bring a lot of experience from Nassau County, but the New York City Police Department has a breadth of experience as well and knowledge. So we want to hit the ground running, and that started yesterday, and I'm looking forward to continuing that conversation. We're doing it in the next couple of weeks. That way we can hit the ground running on January 1st.
And so part of that plan, Mayor-elect Adams has talked about bringing back a version of the plainclothes unit to handle some of that gun crime that we're seeing on the streets. It was previously disbanded because of some heavy-handed tactics. How do you envision the unit coming back and its job to specifically tackle guns?
I think we want to retool that unit as an anti-gun unit and get the right officers in there doing the right types of training to make sure that they are handling that. Anti-gun, anti-crime work is not for everyone, and you have to be selected to be a part of these units. And we're going to do a rigorous selection process to make sure we have the right complement of officers who can do these types of things, these stops, these interactions with the community in a safe manner, and a manner that's consistent with what we're looking for.
Yeah, you know, and a huge topic surrounding some of these gun cases that we're seeing is this topic of bail reform. And you said that judges have the discretion to keep dangerous people off the street. That's what you said yesterday during the press conference. So do you think that judges right now are just being maybe too lenient, or does the actual law need to be tweaked or changed in some kind of way?
Oh, I said judges should have the discretion.
Yeah.
Not that I didn't imply in any way that the judges don't have the discretion. I'm sorry, aren't using that discretion. I believe that you have to have a balance in those situations. You have to make sure that judges do have that discretion to be able to say this person is dangerous and should not be back on the street. But I also think you have to balance it with what's just. A person shouldn't just have to be in jail simply because they don't have the money to get themselves out. But we have to have a balance, and each case has to be looked at, and that's what judges need to have that discretion for.
Do you think that the bail reform law is hindering police from being able to do their jobs effectively?
Bail reform has a lot of components to it. I think each one has to be looked at individually.
Understood. And I also want to talk about, you know, I know we're getting to a lot of specifics here, but I want to talk about subways as well, because it's such a huge part of New York life. And I know you were just tapped. I know you also lived in Queens, and so you're familiar with the subway system. But do you think there needs to be maybe more officers in the system to help with that perception of things not being safe?
People feel like when they see police officers, things are a little bit safer. Obviously, if they see a uniformed officer someplace, they think it's safer. We certainly want to make sure we put officers where the need is. The subway should be safer. More officers would make that safer, but we want to just not throw officers at a situation. We want to make sure we have the right information, the intelligence to be able to put the police officers where the need is.
Right. And you've been tasked with building trust between the NYPD and communities of color after a number of tense few years. And part of that trust comes from disciplining officers, right? Transparency around that process as well. We've heard that rally cry from so many New Yorkers. How do you plan to take that on?
To transparency, I think that the NYPD has done a pretty good job of releasing information for transparency. I am 100% for transparency and accountability, and I plan to continue that. And from day one, I want to take a look at what we have in terms of any pending disciplines, any issues that I need to be aware of, and make sure that we are as accountable and transparent to the community as possible. All
right, I want to ask just a few human questions for you personally, because I was doing some reading on you, right? I do like to do my research, and your grandfather was a Marine. And so what do you think? What lessons did you learn? You come from a history of law enforcement in your family. How did that impact you to get into this field to begin with?
My father was a Marine. My pop, and that's what I call him. He was a New York City officer, retired as a detective. They taught me service. They taught me commitment. They supported me in everything that I did, even though for them this may not have been a conventional choice for me growing up, but they were absolutely instrumental in my dedication and my confidence and my drive.
Yeah, you know, and family is so important in that. And you know, we were talking earlier, I don't know if you caught it, but we were talking about sleep and how sometimes when you're in a funk and in a mood, music gets you out of that. And sometimes when you're having a bad day, the music can change your whole mindset. So I'm logging onto your Spotify account, right? Miss Sewell's Spotify account. What is the #1 song played on it?
Liquid Spirit, Rick Reporter.
Oh my goodness, Liquid Spirit. Okay, she's not messing around. You ready for the lightning round? You ready? You ready to go?
Yes.
Here we go, lightning round. Okay, Mets or Yankees?
Mets.
Whoa! We got the Mets first female.
Queens. That was a no-brainer. That was an underhanded throw.
Okay, so I was gonna say, what's your favorite subway line? I'm gonna guess it's the 7.
The F, actually.
The F. Okay. Okay. Now we're in a bodega. What are you ordering?
Oh gosh, I wouldn't necessarily order something. I would probably buy a Coke.
A Coke, not a bacon, egg, and cheese. One word.
No, definitely not.
And do you pet the bodega cats?
100%.
Okay, and here's the big one.
I try to adopt them, but.
Okay, this is a big one. Ready for this? Knicks or Nets? Now I don't know if you're a basketball fan.
Knicks. I know. Knicks.
Okay. All right. There we go. That's the lightning round. There'll be plenty more to come as the time goes on, but I like to do this at the end when we get to know somebody. Hey, thank you so much and for being here and making this one of your first stops. And you're taking over on January 1st, and we're looking forward to really seeing what you have to do for this city. And congratulations on the history-making moment.
Thank you so much for having me. Happy holidays to everyone.
Do you have a message for young girls?
there is nothing you can't do. It is my honor to actually be in this position to be able to show you that there is nothing you can't do.
There you go. All right. Well, happy holidays to you again, Police Commissioner, soon-to-be Police Commissioner Keechant Sewell. Thank you so much for spending part of your morning with us.
Thank you so much. Be well.
All right. You too.